Happy Sunday, all you minties. This is the Uncanny Omar from Near Mint Condition. And today I'm going to be doing an overview of the Penguin Classics Marvel Collection. These are all in hardcover format. We're going to be looking inside of the books and what exactly they contain. So, stay tuned. And welcome back, everybody. Before getting started, I want to give a big thank you to Organic Price Books for sending us a copy of each of these books. All of these books are in hardcover format. These are the standard edition, which honestly, in my humble opinion, I think they look better than the direct market versions. But we're going to be taking a look at each one of these, opening them up and check out the build. But one of the big questions I'm sure people are having is, how big are these books exactly? Here's a Marvel Masterworks. So Marvel Masterworks are the same dimensions as far as the paper of a trade paperback, and as you can tell, it is a little bit bigger than the dimensions of a Marvel Masterwork. So the pages are bigger than a Marvel Masterworks. Of course, not as big as an omnibus edition, but definitely bigger than your standard size hardcover. So that's where we are as far as comparing the sizes. The standard editions all have these gold foil stamping on it for the title, the characters, the side here, then the back of the book. I think it makes it look really classy. So I guess maybe that's why they're the classic line. There's Captain America and the spine with the cap space there, Captain America logo, the creators, the little penguin house logo there, and Marvel. And then the back of the book. Each one of these retailing for $50. And here's Black Panther. But the other thing I want you, this is a beautiful design. The other thing I want you to notice is this right here. This gilded pages here. Reminds me a little bit of what Dark Horse did with the Sin City books. So it's like got a gold top stain on it for the gilded edges. I think it looks really nice. Gives it, like I said, a more classier feel. The feel of the books, there's no dust jacket on these. Feels like I want to describe it as I always go back to Harrow County Library editions, but it's like a soft feel to the hardcover. It's a hardcover for sure, but it has a soft finish to it. Can't really describe it. So we're going to be cracking these open, checking out the artwork inside and the way the artwork looks, and I'm going to compare it to like an Epic Collection or an Omnibus Edition to kind of give you an idea of what the colors look like or any of the restoration in this. So we'll start with Amazing Spider-Man, since this is Volume 1, this is Volume 2, and 3. Okay. Getting this book opened. I love this. The end paper they're using here of these two characters of the Green Goblin and Doc Ock, the Steve Ditko stuff. And then we have an introduction of the Amazing Spider-Man. There are a couple of forwards and book introductions. The Classics Collection introduction, and then we have Stan Lee and Steve Ditko, the Amazing Spider-Man. So here's your table of contents. We have a series introductions by Ben Sanders. We have the forward by Jason Reynolds and the volume introduction by Ben Sanders. So the series introduction is the series of all of these three books that we're looking at here. Here is your table of contents where you're going to find each of these issues. And as you can probably tell, each one of these is going to be like this. It's not collecting everything. It's just collecting a little bit of here and there from the early appearances of Spider-Man. And these series introductions, my goodness, they took a long time to read. And I didn't get around to reading all the comics because I've read them so many times in the past. But I did read all the forwards and series introductions. Man, they are lengthy, honestly. Like the volume introductions, the series introductions, these are lengthy. So I like these because it kind of gives you an insight on, whoever is writing the introduction, their perspective on these particular stories and what it meant to them, how they found these stories, or just pretty much a little behind the scenes sometimes is what you find out. This particular book has 384 pages. So we kick it off with Amazing Spider-Man number 15. That is the very first appearance of course, the Arachnite. But this also collects Amazing Spider-Man 1 through 4, issue number 9, 10, 13, 14, 17 through 19. But the most interesting part of the collection that is in here is the what was it called? It's from the Strange Tales 97. Goodbye to Linda Brown. That was it. So that was always the rumor. There's Amazing Spider-Man number 1 right here, and all of Amazing Fantasy is in here. Not just Amazing Fantasy featuring Spider-Man, but also the Bell Ringer story in there, the Man in the Mummy case. Those stories are all in there too. And I love this one. There are Martians among us. But the Strange Tales is an interesting one because that was always the one that people were like, oh, that features the first appearance of Aunt May and Uncle Ben, because there are 2 characters named Aunt May and Uncle Ben in there. The paper quality that they are using for these types of books, all 3 of them are the same, and I assume the direct market covers are no different. Speaking of direct market covers, here is your standard. On the left-hand side, that's what the direct market cover looks like. Like I said, no shade thrown at it. It looks pretty cool. I like the pop look to it, but I like this here a little bit more, the standard edition. But the paper quality they are using for these is a thick matte paper. So it's not glossy, and it's just a flat matte paper. Because some matte paper does have a glossy finish or can have a glossy finish or a semi-glossy finish. And I think there's always, like I've said before, like a misconception sometimes in the world of collected editions that glossy always means the top tier. But not really. It really depends on the artwork, right? I think like the Sin City library editions are a perfect example of that, because they showed like the contrast in black and white is so much better in that matte paper that they are using. So here you're going to see some early appearances, first appearances of characters. Sometimes the issues will have a little forward by Ben Saunders. So let's look at the one that I was talking about from Strange Tales. So Strange Tales 97 actually does have a forward here. Goodbye to Linda Brown. It's part of the appendix, and yes, here it is. And this features 2 characters, Uncle Ben and Aunt May. And this is a few months before Amazing Fantasy 15. There's also this little story from the Amazing Spider-Man Annual number 1, how Stan Lee and Steve Ditko create Spider-Man, rather. Sorry. The legend himself, Steve Ditko. And then some promotional artwork, unused pages, and where else you can read about Spider-Man. Now, the one thing I want to do before we move on to the other 2 books is, of course, do a comparison. The first comparison I want to do is to the latest printing of the Epic Collection, because this is more about its size. Like I said, long introductions. So kicking it off with Amazing Fantasy number 15. Now, what you're not going to see in these collections, in the Penguin Random House collections, are the letter pages. But then again, you don't get the letter pages in the Epic collections. So here you have the Penguin Classics here, and here's your Epic collection. Colors are different as far as that cover, and here we go. Normally I'd put which is which up at the top, but I'm going to be going back and forth. Honestly, colors look about the same on the internal stuff. Maybe it was just the cover right there. Let's pick another page. Okay, so the colors just seem to pop out a little more here with the Epic collection, but this is a different type of paper. This has a semi-gloss finish to it, so I don't know if that absorbs the colors more, because sometimes that's the case. Not that there's anything wrong with the colors here. They look great, honestly. And if you read these, in your youth, then this is probably something you're more accustomed to right here, this type of paper. And I wanted to compare it to the Omnibus right here. This is the latest printing of the Omnibus. So it's using this glossy paper. It's thinner than like the first few printings of the Omnibus. And the way it looks compared to this page right here. And just a couple more pages, then we can move on to Captain America. And what am I doing? That's not even the right page. There we go. There we go. To kind of get the idea, the colors are very similar. I think it really depends on your taste, and if, of course, you want everything, because this doesn't have everything in chronological order. Next up is Captain America. This is the classic Captain America, but it also collects things from his return. And here we have the standard edition cover. On the left-hand side is your direct market cover. And again, the direct market covers are only available at places like cheapgraphicnovels.com, waltzcomicshop.com, Organic Price Books, In-Stock Trades, Dime Break Collectors, while these are available everywhere, including those places and places like Amazon. Again, with these cool images. I wonder if the back also has cool images. Love this. I actually really, really like that. You have so many forwards here. And let's get to the actual table of contents. So you have the series introduction, Ben Saunders doing that, as well as the volume introduction, and a forward by Jean Luen Yang, who has written Superman, who also is currently writing Shang-Chi. I will say the introductions vary from something personal, and when these particular people introducing these stories, when they found out about the characters, when their first Captain America comic was. But this kicks off with the classic Captain America stuff. This is Captain America #1 from 1941 is collected in here. And then you have Captain America Stories from Tales of Suspense. That was the title that he shared with Iron Man when they brought him back after Avengers #4. And so it also collects Tales of Suspense 59, 63 to 68, 75 to 81, 92 to 95. And then in issue 100 it changed to Captain America, so it collects Captain America 110 to 113. So we have comics from the 40s in here, early 40s of course, and then we have comics from the 1960s era. There's also the Commie Smasher story from Captain America #78 from 1954. It's collected in here, and I don't think that's been collected. Well, I know it hasn't been collected in Epic or Omnibus format. So this does have the classic stories, reintroducing some of his characters in the past, some of his supporting cast being introduced for the first time. You have classic Jack Kirby artwork in here, whether it's from the freaking 40s or whether it's when he returned to the Marvel age in the 60s. And then you have some amazing Joe Steranko stuff that not yet in omnibus format. I don't think, right? No, it is. It's in volume 2. Damn it. I forgot about that. Or is it in volume 1? Now I'm confused. No, I think some of it is in volume 2. Because yes, these issues right here are in volume 2 of the Captain America. I got rid of mine a long time ago like a fool, but this is what the artwork looks like in here again, what the colors look like. This one here has 400 pages, so it's just a little bit more than the Amazing Spider-Man. There's some extras all the way here in the back, including the awakening of Captain America, just a little bit, just 4 pages, including his awakening. The afterword by Jim Steranko here. There's a lot of just people's introduction and forwards. I like that. Now, if you're not a fan of reading introductions and forwards, then you're probably like, damn it, I wish they had given me more comic and less freaking words. I get it. But I like it. And the notes back here, also where you can do for future reading. I think this is a cool idea right here that both Marvel and DC can adapt on their books. Like, hey, where do you go next from here? Pretty cool. Like, it jumps all over the place, you know, and it's not in chronological order, but I think some of the best stories are in here. Now, I'm going to do a comparison to that issue #1 here from the omnibus format. This is the latest printing of the omnibus format. So here's what it looks like, the differences. Captain America here in omnibus format. Colors are a little more vibrant. The blacks are a little darker here than they are here as far as the shadows. Really, Captain America, in my opinion, just looks better here. It could be that, I'm just used to omnibus format. I like oversized hardcover format. And here, let's look at the black and white to do a comparison. So it's all an acquired taste, right? Some people prefer this. Some people prefer this. This is probably closer to the comic that you opened up. This has art restoration. And I don't know, it looks better here on this type of paper. This is also printed at the Donley printer too. But just wanted to do a quick comparison. And of course the big difference is, like, this collects everything in chronological order. This is 100. I think this latest printing is 125. This is $50. and then compare it to the Epic Collection here, Captain America Lives, since I got rid of my Omnis a while back. And just, of course, the art is a little bit bigger here in the Penguin Classics. And here it is compared to the art on the Epic Collection. Yellows are a little bit more vibrant here in this version, in the Epic version. But then again, it could be that they were using the new masters that they use for the Marvel Masterworks. Here's that freaking badass scene of Captain America just jumping through that window. So freaking awesome. Both pictures look great here. Last but certainly not least is Black Panther. This is the third volume of the Penguin Classics. I don't know if they're going to do any more. Love that. And this is honestly pretty much the Epic, the very first Epic collection, collecting his first appearance and Claw's first appearance. Well, just Ulysses Claw, not Claw, because he was known as Claw a couple of issues later. Here's the credits of the people that helped make this happen. The introduction by Ben Saunders, the forward introduction by Nnedi Okorafor, and then the volume introduction by Kiana Whitted. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Here is your table of contents right here. And I do have to make one small correction to these the introduction right here. This is from, it's a long volume introduction. I'm not kidding. My goodness. This one here by Kiana Whitted. And right here, she states that the character's longest run was Christopher Priest's run. Yes, that's true. But it ran from 1988 to 2003. That part is inaccurate. It only ran from 1998 to 2003. Would have been great if it was 1988. So I think that was just a little bit of a mistake on her part. But she talks about her relations to these characters, bringing them closer to all the different tribes in Africa. That was a pretty cool introduction. Okay, so this is something that I noticed in this particular volume, and that's just the muddled colors a little bit here on Fantastic Four, which is his first appearance. This is Fantastic Four number 52. Enter the Black Panther, which we get to meet the character of T'Challa. He doesn't reveal that he is black until the very end. I love that when he takes his mask off. I can only imagine what it was like back then reading this. And then he tells him a little bit of the origin of what happened to his family, how he was betrayed, and of course gives us the character of Ulysses Claw, who will eventually just be known as Claw, using his last name as a code name. And then we get into the Don McGregor stuff, which to me was so far ahead of its time. Sadly, he didn't wrap up his stories until years later because, well, when you have the return of the King, you gotta make way, right? This is Jack Kirby coming back to Marvel. So they gave him the title of Captain America. They did give him Captain America, but also Black Panther. So when Jack Kirby came back to Marvel, he took over Black Panther, and Don McGregor was told, hey man, the King's back, and he understood. But he didn't get to wrap up his stories until later. But, I mean, there were some really great stuff that he was doing way ahead of its time. There's a confrontation between, actually one of the last stories in here, of just Black Panther confronting the KKK. It's crazy. So this collects Fantastic Four 52 and 53, and Jungle Action 6 through 21. And like I said, this stuff has been collected in epic format. This is the only one that I can think of that a character's appearance is done in chronological order. I know the Omnibus is going to expand on that a lot more. It's going to collect every appearance of him, including some of them in the Avengers. And all the way in the back here are some further reading if you want to keep exploring the character of Black Panther. There's also this introduction right here, which first came out in the Marvel Masterworks Black Panther Volume 1. This is the introduction by Don McGregor. And then the plot synopsis here from Don McGregor's Jungle Action number 7. And further reading. Love it. Now what I'm going to do is compare the first appearance of Black Panther to the Omnibus. Again, missing from these are the letter pages. Those can be found in the Omnibus format, not the Marvel Masterworks or the Epic collections. So, as I was saying, the colors here are a little bit muddled on him, on his costumes and all the darks here. But That's also because this is a newly restored, like every single panel, every little picture in this omnibus has been restored and just looks a lot better than the previous printings. So it's a very biased opinion because this is just wow. But there's nothing wrong with it. Again, this is $125. This is $50. The paper quality, matte paper, and this is printed at the Donley printer, so it's a thicker, glossy paper that they've used. So again, what the differences look like. A little bit of an unfair comparison, honestly. But for the price of these, I think they're great. You know, I think they would make great presents for somebody that you're trying to get into the comic book world. But that, as they say, is that. If you're interested in purchasing any of these books, whether it's the direct market or standard edition format, check out our sponsor, cheapgraphicnovels.com, your online home for graphic novels and collected editions up to 50% off cover price. They have excellent shipping and prompt and helpful service. Check out their bargain deals for up to 90% off cover price. And don't forget that CGN also takes pre-orders. That way you don't miss out on the hottest releases. And they are currently running a special promotion for you Minties. If you're a first-time customer, after receiving your order confirmation email, reply back to that email and let them know Near Mint Condition sent you their way. They will then apply a free shipping promotional credit to your next order in the US. Cheap Graphic Novels, your source for the hottest books with the kind of deep discount, quality shipping, and customer service that will keep you coming back for more. And that was the contents, page count, and build of these books. Let me know in the comments down below if you have picked these up, if you're good with your Marvel Masterworks, or your Epic Collections, or Omnibus Editions, or if you're thinking about gifting any of these to somebody that wants to get into these particular characters. Again, this was the Uncanny Omar. Thank you all so much for watching. If you have any questions, leave your questions down below, comments down below. We are on Spreadshop and Patreon. Amazing ways to support the channel if you can do so. More importantly, everyone stay healthy and safe out there. Much love.